Hi guys, it's Deborah here. Welcome to week 3 of the course on how to heal yourself from sexual abuse using the emotional freedom techniques, also known as tapping. And I'm really excited that you have gotten to this place in the course. And I just want to start by saying that, be kind to yourself and give yourself time to let this really get in there and work. What we're learning so far are pretty basic techniques. They're very powerful techniques, but they're pretty basic techniques. So this means that you're going to need to do quite a bit of tapping. You're going to get in there and get in there and take a memory and tap on that memory and go to the next memory and tap on that memory and go to the next memory and tap on that memory. And you want to break down the memories into their various little pieces known as aspects. And when you do that, you're going to find that you start feeling better. When you revisit a memory, it isn't going to have the same charge that it used to have. You're not going to have the same sort of angst or pain around the memory. Sometimes it feels like the memory is happening to someone else. You are also going to find that you begin to what's called reframe events. So you get these awarenesses about the events that they just don't have the same pain associated with them anymore. And the more of the tapping you do and the more of these issues that you go in there and you just sort of untangle, the better your life is going to feel. And I promise you that if you do this work, as simple as the techniques are that you know right now, they are going to change your life. Okay? So I'm going to talk to you today about a more advanced technique, one of the advanced techniques that can really help you on the journey and help speed up this process and also protect you as you go along. But let's go back to the PowerPoint presentation here. And, okay, I go from current slide. Okay. So we're on to week 3. You guys are doing great. So what we're going to learn today is I want to talk to you a little bit more about all the different ways that you can use EFT in your life. So far, we've really been talking primarily about how you can use EFT for sexual trauma. But I also want to talk about a lot of the things that we have not talked about is that once you start to understand how EFT works, and I really don't have time to go into that in this class, you are going to understand why and how it relates to so many different aspects of your life and so many different illnesses and disorganizations, for lack of a better word. So as I promised, I'm also going to teach you this advanced technique that you can use to deal with some of your most painful memories. And that's to avoid something called re-traumatization. So we're going to talk about that. And you're also going to learn how you can learn more and go deeper into EFT and even potentially use it as a professional yourself if you want to, as we get a little deeper into the class. So first, let's talk about different ways that you can use EFT. Okay, I'll put this down here. So the thing that brought me to EFT originally was that I had amazing anxiety. I mean, my anxiety just would put me under my desk at work. I was so anxious all the time. I tried everything I could. And it wasn't until I found EFT that I was able to actually move on with my life. Honestly, if it weren't for EFT, I'd probably still be hiding under my desk 20 years later. But EFT is wonderful for healing anxiety. And if you look at a lot of these other issues like depression, like post-traumatic stress disorder, like addictions. So EFT is really, really powerful in helping people with addictions like smoking and weight loss and alcoholism and drugs and so forth. It's very effective. And a lot of the reason it's effective is that it's dealing with the underlying anxiety, the underlying reasons that drive the addictions instead of dealing directly with the addiction itself. So EFT is great for helping you with those things. It can also help with pain, which a lot of people are surprised by. But when you deal with the emotional issues underneath things, pain goes away. And that includes everything from autoimmune diseases to allergies to migraines and things of that nature. And one of the things that we say is try it on everything, because no matter what the diagnosis is, the underlying stresses are often the same. And when you clear out those stresses, the pain in the body can go away. One of the cool things I like about EFT too, and this is something really prevalent in people in the sexual trauma, vein, is that often your relationships are very difficult. So there's often a lot of abusive relationships. There's a lot of divorce. There's a lot of people who just can't get over heartbreak and all those things. And a lot of it stems from unhealed aspects related to sexual abuse. So when you clear those things out, it becomes a lot easier to have healthy relationships. And it also is a lot easier to get over those relationships that have been haunting you from the past. Now, one of the cool things about EFT is that it's also not used just for memories and traumas, but it can also be used for limiting beliefs. Now, the thing about limiting beliefs is they have a way of blocking you from creating this life that you really want to create. And it blocks you from creating abundance. It blocks you from getting the job you want, from doing the things that you really desire to do. So one of the other things that's exciting about EFT, and I have a lot of coaches who use it this way, is that they're using it to actually help you create your future. It's not just healing past traumas. It's about overcoming and changing these beliefs that now help to open up these pathways so that you can really start to live this great life that you were meant to live. And it's a really wonderful combination too. If you can go in there and take out these traumas that are underneath of it all and then go in behind it and deal with the limiting beliefs, it's a powerful combination that can really, really change your life. What it does is it helps you to move beyond those fears and those blockages so that it opens up your life in a way that you never thought you could have. It's pretty exciting. And I see it, in my 18 years as a practitioner, I have seen so much of it that I have no doubt that it will work for you as well. So finally, one of the cool things about EFT is that you could even go on to become a professional practitioner and help other people too. And when you start to, come from a place of having been hurt yourself and knowing how that hurt can hold you back and you go beyond it, it can be really empowering to take that sense of accomplishment and go on to use this technique to help other people who are experiencing those things too. So, but one of the cool things about EFT ultimately is our motto is try it on everything. So you can't hurt yourself. There's nothing you can do that's going to, I don't know, unless you're tapping really hard, maybe you'll get black and blue. So it's possible to try it on everything and see what it does to improve your life. So now I promised you that we were going to learn an advanced technique. And normally this technique is a technique that I only teach in my certification training for my practitioners. But in this case, because so many of you are dealing with highly traumatic incidents, I want to give you a tool that you can use that is going to help you to resolve your trauma without reliving the trauma. So usually when you go to counseling or whatever, they're going to have you recount the trauma, recount the trauma, recount the trauma. And the goal of that is to desensitize. But what happens instead in many instances is you end up re-traumatizing. It's if you're reliving it as if it happens over and over and over again. And your systems don't know that it's just a memory. And so you experience it as if it's happening right now. And oftentimes you leave therapy and you just feel worse than you did when you went in. So with this technique, the tearless trauma technique, the goal here is that you will not be in any way needing to relive the trauma and therefore avoiding re-traumatization. So it makes it a really gentle way of healing the issues without having to go in. Now, when the time comes, you will be, if this is successful or as this is successful, you will be able to go in and imagine the incident or remember the incident without having much pain. So here's how it works. We start by identifying an incident. Now, we identify it, but we don't relive it. We don't remember it. We just say, okay, I know that's the one, right? And then what we're going to do is, instead of imagining the scene, we're going to guess at what your emotional intensity would be if you were remembering it. If you were actually picturing the scene, what would your intensity would be? And in a lot of these cases, even though we say 1 to 10, a lot of the times the people are saying, oh, it's 100 or it's 1,000. Okay, that's a good indicator that tearless trauma technique needs to be pulled out of your tool chest at that moment. So what you're going to do is guess at the intensity, but do not remember the scene. Don't picture it. So then you're going to give it a name. So let's say we're going to call it that night. So that's your reminder phrase or your setup phrase. And then you're going to actually tap using that setup phrase until your guessed number is between 0 and 3. Then you're going to give yourself permission to remember it. Then you check it again. What is your number when you do remember it? Is it really 0 to 3? If it is not, go back. Go back to the tearless trauma technique, take your reminder phrase, and tap on it again. Does it feel like it's still a 0 to 3? Okay, now, can you remember it? Can you remember it as a 0 to 3? And then keep doing that process until there's no remaining emotion. So what I want to do is I want to take a minute and do this together. I don't want to just talk about it. I want to do it. So find a traumatic incident in your life. If you need to pause this for a minute to find something, that's fine. Do that. But this is an opportunity actually to dive into perhaps some of the sexual abuse that you have experienced. Again, do not remember it in detail. I do not want you to re-traumatize. So instead, take that memory and we're going to give it a name. Now, in this case, I'm just going to guess at a name and we're going to call it that horrible night. Okay? So now, imagine if you were going to remember the experience, what number would it be? And then remember that. You can write it down. Just remember, what is your number right now? And then we're going to start doing the tapping. So here we go. Here we go. Side of the hand. Remember? Even though I had this horrible experience, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I had this horrible experience, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I had this horrible experience, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Okay, we're going to go to the top of the head. This horrible experience. Eyebrow. Remember, it's the beginning of your eyebrow. This horrible experience. Now, right here on the outside of your eye. Remember this horrible experience. Under the eye. Remember, it's up here on in that soft spot. This horrible experience. Under the nose. This horrible experience. Chin. This horrible experience. Collarbone. This horrible experience. Take a deep breath in. And now check yourself. How do you feel right now? Do you feel like you're the same Did you yawn? Do you feel yourself relaxing? Do you feel sleepy? Do you perhaps feel bored? Or do you feel like if you check in, not guessing them, not remembering it, but guessing your intensity, did your number go down? Okay, so here we go again. Remember, I don't want you to imagine the event. If you were going to imagine it, what is your number? So let's do it again. Okay, even though I had this horrible experience, I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself. Even though I had this horrible experience, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I had this horrible experience, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Top of the head, this horrible experience. Eyebrow, this horrible experience. Side of the eye, this horrible experience. Under the eye, this horrible experience. Under the nose, this horrible experience. Chin, this horrible experience. Collarbone, this horrible experience. Take a deep breath in. Did you sigh? Did you yawn? Perhaps you feel calmer. These are all indications that something has changed. And when you tap into the experience again, ask yourself, is the number the same? So go ahead, take a second and see if you can feel a change. Now, feel free to pause the video here if you want to or you need to and continue to tap on this. For some of you, you might find that the whole thing just collapses in one round. Or you might find that it takes 10 rounds to feel a difference. And remember, we're using shortcut versions here. We're not using the really more intense aspects of EFT. This is, I'm giving you as, enough to make a change, but there is more that you can learn. But this alone is enough to make a difference in your life. It is enough that if you just do this, you will start to feel better. Tap until your number is 0 to 3, then remember the experience and tap on it from that perspective until you find that the memory has no charge, no pain left in your life. And remember, you'll find that it just doesn't have the same power for you. It feels perhaps like it happened to someone else. It feels like it's just not important anymore. You can still remember it, but you can't necessarily feel it the same way. Or perhaps you have an epiphany, some kind of awakening or awareness that gives you a new understanding of the event that allows you to move on in your life. And that's what we're going for. So when we say you heal from these memories, that's what we're talking about. You still remember them. It's just that the pain of the memories is diminished or gone. That's what we're going for. So we've already tapped on that. Okay. Now, some cautions here. I don't normally teach this technique to everybody. I usually keep it just for the people who are in my practitioner's training. But in this case, I want to teach it to you guys because well, it's just really important that you have the capacity to heal yourself without re-traumatizing. So I do want to caution to if you do find yourself re-traumatizing, stop and go into this technique, or it's always a good idea to seek out a professional. If you want to work with a professional, I have trained more than 3,000 people now, and I can put you in touch with someone who can work with you, who has the professional training and experience to do that. So you can call me at 1-304-295-4411. You can email me at deborahlindsayeft@gmail.com. You can reach out to me on Facebook at Online EFT Certification. You can reach out to me through Messenger. And those are all ways that I can connect with you and get you to a professional. Or if you think that you might be called to learn more, I'm going to talk to you about that in a little bit here inside the course, or inside this little teaching that you're getting here. So the key here is that I sincerely want you to heal. And I have worked with many people in my lifetime, and I know how difficult life living with sexual trauma that's unresolved can be. It can hold your whole life back, and you can feel like you're holding a ball under the water all the time, just sort of moving around all the time, trying to keep that stuff down in. So I want you to have these techniques that can help you to heal. However, the kind of stuff that you're dealing with, as an individual, I don't know exactly what your trauma is, how far it is. Perhaps it's something that was 1 minute and is fairly easy to move beyond, or perhaps you're dealing with very, very difficult stuff and you need to do more advanced stuff. So if your trauma is such, I encourage you to consider going further and getting some of this additional training, which I'm going to talk to you about now. For this, I have two options. One is I teach a level 1 training, and then I teach the level 1 and 2 combined certification training. So the level 1 certification training might be the right choice for you. It's something that you have to decide. And the level 1 certification training is really designed just to help you heal yourself. So I actually don't really teach this class very often. I work mostly with people on the professional certification training track. But because I know there's a lot of people here who are going to want to learn more, but you don't necessarily feel the call to go on to be a practitioner, that's okay with me. So I put this class for you guys specifically to learn how to use more advanced training to actually heal yourself. So if you take the level 1 class, you're going to learn something called the personal peace procedure, and that's a process that's really designed to take you on a journey of healing your whole life. And you are going to learn all about EFT. You're going to learn how it works. You're going to learn why it works. You're going to learn the full tapping sequence. You're going to learn what's called the basic recipe. You're going to learn a number of techniques that you can use. You're going to learn all about aspects. You're going to learn so much, and you're going to go on a journey of healing yourself. Now, you also get access to our private Facebook page. And on the private Facebook page, you can interact with other students who are in the course, most of whom are in the professional certification course, and you can actually ask for tapping partners. So this alone can pay for the class, because if you consider that an EFT practitioner could be charging anywhere from $100 to $300 an hour, pretty realistically, the course pays for itself with just finding one person who's willing to work with you in the process of healing, of honing their own skills. So that alone can pay for the course. Now, this course, I should state, is all done online. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about that in a minute. But at the end of the level 1 training, like I said, the goal is healing yourself. You will get a certificate. That certificate does not qualify you to work on other people. But what it does do is qualify you to go on to the level 1 and level 2 certification training. So you might want to start with the level 1 and then upgrade later to the level 1 and level 2. That's completely at your discretion. But the level 1 certificate, if you have completed the course satisfactorily, will qualify you to move on to the level 2 training. Or you can go straight for the whole ball of wax and really do this right and take the level 1, level 2 combined certification training. And this is most of the people that I train. And this is where you actually gain the skill set of not just healing yourself on a very deep level, but you also learn how to take what you are going through and take it out into the world to help others as a professional practitioner. So this is really the ultimate tool for helping you to do the deepest work possible. Not just because you're now learning all of the tapping points and all of the techniques and all of the theory that a practitioner knows, but also because as part of that process, you are tapping with others inside of the class. And that is not just teaching yourself how to be a better tapper, but actually having people tapping on you as part of the class. So that alone is a huge benefit from for being in the level 1 and level 2 certification training. Even if you don't want to become a practitioner, that depth of healing yourself makes the advanced course worthwhile. What this does is it really helps you to finally be free of all that stuff that's been holding you back. And like I said before, we're going to get into actually creating your future with EFT, not just eliminating traumas and so forth. We're going to get in there, dig out limiting beliefs, and begin to start creating this happy, healthy future that was always meant to be yours. On top of that, if you do want to start working with people professionally, you really can earn great money. And once you finish the course, you have an accredited training from AEFTP, the Association of EFT Professionals, and you can start taking clients, helping people, and making money while you do so. So the first thing you have to consider when you're considering whether or not to take the course is how much does EFT save you? Now I have here how much money does it save you, but it's really more than money, isn't it? It's can you afford to let yourself be in pain for one more day? You never get the day back. It never comes back to you. It's one more day of lost opportunities. It's one more day of being in pain. It's one more day of holding that beach ball underwater. It's one more day of not living the life of potential that you were meant to live. So part of what you want to consider in this is how much does it cost you to not be well and to not live this life that you can feel welling up inside of you that you want to live, but it's just trapped underneath, you know, holding this beach ball underwater. So then you've got to ask yourself, how much does it physically cost you in terms of money to not be well? So perhaps you're just going to counselors and seeing counselors, or perhaps you're on medication. Maybe you're going to doctors. Maybe you're taking coaches. Maybe you're doing all of those. Maybe the stress of this has manifested into something really, really significant, like an autoimmune disease or depression or PTSD or some of those things that are really holding your life back professionally. They're holding your life back in terms of your relationships. And it's not just the cost of having to pay for being ill. It's the cost of not being able to live your life the way you should be living your life. And the tragedy of that is that every day lost is another day you don't get back. So if you take a minute and you really add it up and look at the cost of this lost quality of life, of the lost wages, of the broken relationships, of the lost opportunities. And at the end of the day, ask yourself, what is the value of peace of mind? What is the value of being pain-free? What is the value of having healthy relationships? What is the value of overcoming your addictions? What is the value of feeling like you are living your greatest life? And that's only a question only you can answer. So the thing about EFT is we get the kind of results with our technique that are comparable and perhaps superior to what many people get with professional counselors. So I can't claim to you that we are better than them. They have a great skill set, well earned, very useful. But our quality of results can be, and often are, faster, deeper, and more permanent than what one could experience with a professional counselor. For this reason, even though our training is significantly shorter than the 4, 8, 12, 16 years of college that someone else is paying for, we can charge in the same realm, and we do. And that's because our results speak for themselves. So I had one of my students tell me yesterday that she's been working with a woman that has been in counseling for 25 years. 25 years. And the client said to her, I'm just so tired of thinking about it. I'm so tired of talking about it. I'm so tired of going over it and over it and over it. And she came in, and because she'd done so much work, she cleared. And it was just over. And she didn't have to spend another 10 years talking about it again. So for this reason, it's really common for people in our profession to charge upwards of $100 an hour. So I had one graduate recently. She's a stay-at-home mom. She has 2 young children, and she doesn't want to work outside the home. And she considers herself a natural healer. And she took the training. She was serious about the training. She did a great job with the training. And she's working mostly with vets now. She's helping veterans with PTSD and bothersome memories and physical pain. And she's charging $150 an hour and averaging 7 to 10 sessions a week. So working part-time from home, she doesn't have overhead. She doesn't have to pay for an office. She doesn't have to get in her car and go anywhere. She books her own schedule. She is able to bring home $1,000, $1,500 a week consistently while helping people live a better life. She says it's magic. She can't believe how this course has transformed her life and allowed her the freedom to stay home and raise her kids. I have another graduate. She is started out as a math tutor, and she started helping her students who were having difficulty learning math, just getting over the fear of math and all the blockages that they had. And she has now evolved into being a combination of entrepreneur, business coach, and relationship coach. She actually went on, met the love of her life, has recently got married with a beautiful wedding. They just got back from a honeymoon in Rome. And she's now helping other people as a relationship coach as well. Now she's charging $300 a session and is booked full. So these are not in any way anomalies. These are real people who graduated from my course, who have gone on to create real professions and are truly helping people to heal. Now, you can charge whatever you want. So some people feel more comfortable charging $50 an hour. Some people want to charge $500 an hour. That's completely up to you, and you can charge whatever you want. But The cool thing is you can work from home. There's no office required, and you can make your own hours as well. Now, with level 2 certification, you can actually, the goal is not just healing. The goal is to be able to live a life of purpose and to live a life that is authentic and is aligned with your passion and reason for being. And what I really want for you is that when you go to bed at night, you lay your head on the pillow and you feel a sense of peace and you feel a sense of satisfaction, knowing that you've done good in the world, that you helped people, that you have money in the bank, that you have a sense of internal peace. And that is what the EFT certification can do for you. Now, the training, whether you opt for level 1 or you opt for the combination 1 and 2 professional practitioners course, is online. So you just need a computer and download Skype and some internet and you're ready to go. A lot of people take the class actually on their tablets. Some even take it on their phone. But the cool thing about the online training is that because there is no need to travel, there are no travel expenses, there's no time away from family, you don't have to find babysitters for the kids, you don't have to put the dog into a kennel somewhere. You can do it from home and you can squeeze it into your schedule, whether that's 10 minutes a day or it's, full time. It's completely up to you. The course is designed, level 1 is designed as a 6-week course or a 6-lesson course. If you do 1 lesson a week, it's 6 weeks. If you do 2 lessons a week, it's faster. It's completely up to you. Level 2 is designed as a 12-week course. So again, it's a 12-lesson course, and you can do it 1 lesson a week, or you can take your time. I had a graduate today. She decided to take a year to graduate from the course. She was not in any hurry. She just wanted to absorb the content, and she wanted to learn everything she could. I had another graduate come through recently, and she finished the course in a month. So it's really up to you how much time you have to commit, how fast you want to go. It's completely up to you. But the course is completely flexible on time. You can log in at 2 o'clock in the morning and do a class if you want. It's completely up to you. Now, because the course is online, I also don't have to travel. So that helps me to keep my prices down, and it becomes really affordable. If you look at what a lot of other people are charging for EFT, they're charging often $3,000 for the training for a weekend workshop somewhere. You got to fly, you got to do all those other expenses. Because my training is online, I can help a lot of people, and I don't have to charge nearly as much money. So, and also, if you look at the cost of a college degree, what other people are investing to earn the professional salary that an EFT practitioner earns, I mean, it's not even comparable to the $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 some people have spent to get their degrees. So now the level 1 course, I don't normally offer that separately. This is something that I've put together somewhat exclusively for you guys. I've had it before, but I haven't opened the doors in a while to let new people in. And that's because I really encourage people to go on and get the level 1 and level 2 certification training all together. To me, that is the gold standard. But in this case, you may be someone who really just wants more training. You want more healing. You're not ready yet to stop, but you don't know if you want to go on to full certification training. And I get that, and I'm okay with it. So for you guys, normally the cost for that level 1 training is still only $297. Like $297 is, 2 or 3 sessions with a counselor. But in this case, for the next 3 days, I'm going to make the course available to you for just $197. Like, you save $100, and at the end of it, you get a certificate. Again, it's self-healing. This does not qualify you to be a practitioner, but it does qualify you to go on to be a practitioner later, and it gives you a much deeper process for healing yourself in the meantime. So if you think you want to go on to sign up for level 1 only, I'm going to talk to you about some bonuses in a second. but you can click on the button on the bottom of this page and get started right now. That is a one-time payment only, but you know, again, once you access the course, you own the course, it's yours. So now if you want to have it all, and you know that you want to get the deepest training possible, whether or not you want to go on to become a practitioner, you know you want to learn the gold standard here. That is the level 1, level 2 certification training. Now that class is $649. So if you go to my website at onlineeftcertification.com, you will see that people are paying $649 all day long to join that course. But for you guys, I'm going to discount the class $150, and you're going to get into it for $499. So that gets you into level 1 and level 2 combined, and brings you out a practitioner when you're done for $499. So I mean, you're going to make that money up in no time. So all you need to do is click on the button underneath here and get started. Now, there are a couple of bonuses I'm offering along with the discounts, you know, these very deep discounts for the price. And the first one is you're going to get put into another class for free. Now, this class is called Tapping into Success. It's a tap-along course for helping you to overcome the limiting beliefs that hold you back financially. So that class is, you know, it's priceless because it helps people to turn their lives around financially at the same time. And also, you're going to get invited to participate in 3 monthly group phone calls with me directly. So in those groups, we do tapping. We talk about, you know, clients that you have. We talk about experiences you're having that are getting better or that are causing you stress. They're just, we dig in and we talk to each other, and we use that time to make ourselves better practitioners. So, and then the other one, of course, is lifetime access to the course. So you can go back a year later, you can go back couple years later and revisit the content of the course and refresh yourself at any time. So again, you have 3 days now to take advantage of the bonuses and the highly discounted prices. Just, I should say that for the level 1, level 2 combined training, there are payment plans available as well that make it super easy to afford the course. So I should say there's a 7-day money-back guarantee. So you can sign up, go in, look around, see if it feels like it's worthwhile for you. And if not, whatever, you send me an email, and I, you know, refund your money and remove you from the course. No questions asked. And I also offer a second guarantee, and this is a little bit more nebulous. What it is if you do your work, what I'm guaranteeing here is that the class is good. And I'm guaranteeing that if you do the work, you will be good at EFT. I am available to you all the time. If you have a question, you call me. If you have a problem, you send me an email. You reach out to me on Facebook, whatever. And I work with you to make sure that when you graduate, you are a qualified EFT practitioner. So if in those 90 days you finish the class and you feel like you did not get what you paid for, I will still refund your money even after you finish the course. Okay? I hope that's clear. So if you want to learn more about the course, you can always go to onlineeftcertification.com, but it's only on this page with these links that you will get these discounts and these bonuses, okay? All right, guys, I really hope that this was worthwhile for you. I hope that you find that it was, yeah, I don't know how to get back to just the video, so you'll have to put up with me on this little tiny screen. But I hope that you join me in the courses. I am confident after, you know, having worked with so many people in my life, I am confident that this will help to transform your life and send your life in another direction. My graduates tell me all the time that this was the best course they ever took. And I feel like you too will have that same experience if you give it the chance. So I hope to see you in the class. And either way, even if you choose not to, I hope that you find that the training that I have given you so far will help you to overcome the trauma of sexual abuse that you have experienced. Okay? All right. Bye, guys.